Want to collect names, emails, or passwords? Or build your own contact form? You're about to enter the world of HTML forms, and this is where your website starts talking back. Get it? Because it gives you back results. Okay, I'll stop. With that said, let's get started. So let's first understand forms. What is a form? A form is how user sends back a data or any information to a server. It can be your server or any other server. Like signing up, logging in, submitting a comment. It all happens using form. So let's first make a simple form and let's make our information more broader, okay? So what we'll first do is obviously make our boilerplate code. I'll do HTML5 here and change the title to, let's say, forms in HTML. Cut this meta tag because I haven't taught you meta tags, and cut these two. So we have our HTML boilerplate code. Inside body, what we'll do is make a form tag. So I'll do form. So inside this, we'll make our form. As same as table tag in the last video, we'll use form tag. So in the last video, we made our table inside the table tag. This time we'll make our form in form tag. So it's just that simple. So what we'll do is start with basics, okay? So here, I want you to type input, okay? When you type input tag, it basically generates an input field, right? Where you can type stuff, as you can see right here. I can just type stuff, right? So this is what we call the input field. It lets the user type or give an information that will then get sent to a server, okay? We can also give it a type attribute saying this given field is for text. So you can enter text in this field. I can change this to number. Now, if I do that, I can only enter number inside this input field. As you can see, I'm trying to type text, but it's not working. If I type number, it will work. There's also an increment and decrement button here where you can use to get your value, right? Now, another value to the type attribute is, let's say, email. If I do that, so what is the difference between that? Let's say I type anything. Let's say I type Coden and hit enter. As you can see, it says, please include an address in email address because this specific field is about email address, right? It will not work until I give something like @gmail.com. Now, if I do this, it will work, as you can see. So this is what input field is, right? Now, I'll show you more values to the type attribute in a second, but before that, I want to show you another important thing. So as you can see, there is an empty input field right here. But how does the user know to enter email inside this input field, right? Now, for that, there are another two things you can do. One is give a label to this input field saying email, like this, right? And connect this label to this input field. Now, how do you do that? Now, give a for attribute to a label which says, let's say it's for email, right? This label is for email. And how do you connect this label, which is this email right here, to this input field? To do that, so we have the label right here, right? Which has the for attribute set to email. We can give the same attribute to input as ID. I can give the same attribute as ID. As you can see, the value of the for is email and the value of ID is email. Now, what happens is if I click this label, the input field that corresponds to given label activates, right? If I click on label, as you can see, this input field get activated. Now, here's the deal. Now, in our series, you'll probably see ID used a lot in later episodes because not only it is useful for forms, as you can see right here, but it also is a CSS selector. Now, what are those? We'll not get into those in this video because it's about the CSS. We'll learn it when we'll start CSS, so don't worry, okay? For now, just understand that ID right here is basically a connector that basically connects label and the input tags, okay? Now I said I'll show you more type attributes, right? Now what I can do is give another type attribute to the input field saying password. If I do that, whatever type inside this will just get, it will just change it to dot because, password is supposed to be encrypted and hidden. So that makes sense, right? Now I can give another type attribute saying another is a checkbox. If I do that, it changes the input field to a checkbox. You can check it like this. You can also use the email right here, which is label, which is again connected using the for attribute to inputs because we have the same for an ID value, right? If I click on email, this gets checked. So this is especially useful when you're making checkboxes because let's say the checkbox is really small, then you can just click on the corresponding label to make it activate like this. You can also give it another attributes. Now, this will be the last attribute that we'll learn in this video, and we'll do a small project, then wrap the video, okay? So, another value to the type attribute is the file. Now, if you give the type attribute to the file in input field, what happens is when I click this email, like this, it will basically activate my files, like this. You can choose anything and submit to the servers, okay? So that's all of the things that we essentially learn in this video. Now, there are a lot more values to the type attribute that we'll learn in another video. This will be 2 to 3 parts video because forms is really big topic, okay? Now, at last, we'll do a small project about forms. Now, this will be a form that will basically input your email, password, and just submit it, okay? What we'll do is basically make a label first, obviously. We'll make a label, and this label will be about, I misspelled it, there you go. So this label will be about email, like this. Now we'll make another input field. Let me not do that, I guess. We'll do input. This will have a couple of attributes, okay? So the first attribute that we'll put is type. Now again, I've taught you that email type, right? Now, another new thing that we will learn in this video, don't worry, there are a lot of things to learn, I know, just grab slowly, okay? I'll take you slowly, don't worry. Now, another attribute that you can give to this input field is placeholder. Now, what does placeholder do? You might have noticed that when visiting a website, when you're logging in, inside the input field, you'll see a text return saying enter your email or enter your username, right? That's because of the placeholder attribute. If I give enter your email here, what happens is it comes up inside the input field, but when I type something, it will disappear, right? This is what placeholder does. It basically gives a short description about what the input field is. Now I can copy this and paste it here. Now it will look kind of jumbled up. To fix it, I can give a BR tag. Now what is BR tag? BR tag is basically skips one line, so it's one line, right? After this tags, it will skip one line. Now what I'm doing is breaking the line after this two label and input fields. That's what BR stands for. That means break, okay? So if I put a BR tag after this, right, like right here, it'll just break the line like this, as you can see. Now it still looks kind of messy, so I'll give 2 BR tags. Now it looks more cleaner. So basically the first BR tag was to break the line here, and the second BR tag was just to basically make a space. This whole line is just a BR tag, okay? So after that, what we'll do is, there you go. So another input field will be for password. I did the same, I just copy pasted this to here. Now I'll give a for attribute to this saying email, and I'll give an ID attribute saying same, because again, I want to link these two, right? I want to link these two. I can do the same here saying is for password. Give an ID saying password. Okay. So when I click on email, this input field gets activated, and when I click on password, this input field gets activated. I also changed the placeholder, I just noticed, because it was saying the same. I will say enter your password. Now it starts to look like an actual input field or actual sign up page, right? I can type something, let's say codin@gmail.com, right? And I can also type, let's say, the password. Oh, actually I forgot to give the password type. I'll quickly give password type. After that, if I do codin@gmail.com here, and let's say my password is something, if I hit enter. So another question that you might have in your minds is, how do we submit whatever information that is inside these two input fields? Now, there are a couple of ways of doing it, but the most common method of doing it is making a button, right? We'll make a button. So button is button where if you click it, some sort of function will get triggered. So here, this will be a submit button. As you can see, I'll put a BR tag to shift it down, right? Like that. I'll give another BR tag to shift even further, like this. Now, what I'll do is basically in button, I'll give a type attribute. I'll give a type attribute saying submit. Okay. So this button right here will be the button that will be used to submit information from the form. So let's try to submit something, right? I'll type codin@gmail.com, type something here, and when I click on submit, it will get submitted. Where does it get submitted? Nowhere, of course. We haven't set up any backend servers or stands that will take all of the information, so it will just disappear and you cannot get it at all, okay? So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have any doubts regarding today's lesson, please feel free to comment down below and I will try to answer every single one of them. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.